No matter what our culture is, we are all His children and God's children. If God is love, we must also be loved. I believe it. I believe we are made out of love. That love is the reality. Whoever wants to have God realization must have love realization. But why was the need for God to create us if He is love? I have been pondering over it. Why would God create children? Why would God create all of us if He is Himself love? When love cannot be an experience of love. Love is love. To create an experience of love, the whole creation has come into being. People have sometimes asked me, what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? Purpose is revealed right in the fact that if God is love, He has created us so we can love Him and have experience of love. If there was only love, there would be no experience of love. He created us, not what you see here. He created us. We are not these bodies. If we start thinking we are these bodies, how could He create love for temporary time? Bodies are very temporary. We all have to leave our bodies. Great masters have come. My own master came, left his body. Nobody keeps this physical body. And we have some other things also in us. Like we have sense perceptions. We can see with our eyes, touch with our hands, hear with our ears. Can we do these things without the body also? We do it every day. In dreams, we go to sleep, we can see, we can hear, we can touch. This body is sleeping. We have a new body called dream body. It can do all the things, seeing, touching, tasting, smelling. Or, even if we are not dreaming, we can imagine that we can see. I can right now imagine I am still in London, I can see the street, I can see a big bus pass, double-decker. These eyes are not involved in that. Seeing is nothing to do with this body. Hearing is nothing to do with this body. Touching is nothing to do with this body. These are built-in systems in us. The sensory systems are independent of the physical body. That is why we can imagine, we can dream, and we can even separate them if we like. Very few people do that. But you can do it. Simple method. How do you separate seeing, touching, tasting, smelling from the physical body that we think we are seeing with the eyes, hearing with the ears, and we can do without it? Simple method. Die. If you are dead, if you still see, then you know. If you are dead and you can still see, that means you have still the same eyes which you thought were the physical eyes. But you can still see. In spirit form, in disembodied form, you can still see. But how can we believe? Because we don't know what will happen after death. How can we believe the statement that even after dying we will be able to see? Simple solution. Die while living. Have the same experience which you will have when you will die. You can all die while living and have the experience of what it is like to be dead and still be able to see. In the Bible, Paul says, I die daily. It does not mean physical death. He will be dying daily. But he has experience of seeing, touching, tasting, smelling without the body. We are doing it now, but we can do it even if we have no body. Which means when we die, we have no body. But we can still do all these things. Why do we have these things? Why do you want to see? Because we can love what we see. And ultimately, we touch because we love. Everything is related to love, our true nature, our Father's nature, our God's nature, who produced us as children. Same thing, we can love the physical body. We can love without physical body, just with our sense perceptions. The sense perceptions that we have are really more real than our physical body. You can find out when you die, or you can find out if you die while living. The method to die while living is simple and is given to us by our masters. This is the main teaching of my master, Huzur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh, that you can experience dying while you are living through simple process of meditation. Meditation, not anywhere, not meditating on worldly things. We are always meditating. Meditating means thinking about things. That's meditating. He gave me a cup of water. I was meditating. This good water. Glass is good. I drink it. I take it very real. Don't you see? Glass is real. You can all see. I can also see. I took a drink of water. Very nice water. What was I meditating on? I feel thirsty, I am drinking water, and there is a glass, real glass, I just touched it. Supposing I was sleeping and having a dream. In the dream I feel thirsty, and somebody gives me a glass with water, just like this. My health advisor sitting here, she's a nurse. She takes care that I drink water at the right time. I go to the bathroom at the right time too. She gives me a glass of water. I'm having a dream. She's giving me a glass of water. I look at the glass. I drink the water, tastes good, and then I wake up. Did I actually drink the water or no? I drank the water. I remember it. It was real. I still remember it. But the glass was not real. And the water was not real. Can you believe that? That we are having a real experience with something unreal? In the dream, we had a real experience. While I was dreaming, I was sure the glass was real. When I woke up, the water was not real. Drinking of the water was real. Very important point. If you can catch this point, that experience we have is always real. But when we say because we have an experience, things are real, that's a mistake. When do we find that mistake? When we wake up. Supposing this life we are leading is like a dream, and one day we wake up, what will we find? We'll find nobody was real. Nothing was real, but experience was real. Beautiful revelation which can come to us if we can die while living and wake up to another state where only sense perceptions are working with no matter, no body. And this can be done by anybody, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of age, irrespective of gender, irrespective of color of the skin. Anybody can do it, so long as you are a human being. Why did I say human being? Why can't I say dog can also do it? Dog has life. Dog has same soul. If you know about soul, dog has same life form, same soul which gives him life as we have. The tree outside has the same soul. Tree can't speak, can't move, can't do anything. So it's a lesser expression, a lesser form of life than human form. But that's not the main difference. Main difference is we are ignorant what will happen tomorrow. We guess from past experience what we plan. Sometimes we plan, sometimes it doesn't happen. I never planned to come here. I am following this man's plan. Maybe somebody else's plan. I don't know whose plan I am following, but it was not my plan. My plan was something else. Who changed my plan? My lack of knowledge. I did not know what the future is. But I was planning for the future. I was choosing the future. The tree does not choose. The tree does not think and make a plan, nor does a dog, nor does a cat, nor does a horse, nor do angels. Why don't angels plan? Angels know everything already. How can they plan? You have to have ignorance before you can plan. This capacity of human beings alone, out of how many species of life? Indian books, scriptures say, the number is 8.4 million forms of life exist. Some exist in the past, like dinosaurs. They are extinct. Some will still come. But the list is there. Life can exist in 8.4 million forms. Out of 8.4 million forms, which includes angels and gods and all we worship, only one form exists where we think and decide what to plan, what to do. No other form does that. What is it called? We call it free will. Only human beings have free will. Very special thing. Nobody else has. No form has. Why has this special thing been given to us? Because we are created by love and are God's children, and God is love. So we can choose love. We can decide what is love. We can experience love. That is why. But we don't know what is love. Sometimes we think maybe this attraction we have for each other is love. Sometimes we think sexual contact is love. Sometimes we think just thinking of somebody is love. We don't know really. Sometimes we say there is pure love and there is impure love. Sometimes we think there is good love, bad love. Sometimes we divide. The very experience, very good to love your wife, very bad to love somebody else. All division in our head. Who is dividing this? We are not dividing. We don't want to divide. We are children of love. Who is dividing? Our senses are not dividing. Body is not dividing. Who is dividing? If we think of it, who is dividing? We find our thinking machine is dividing, which we call our mind. Our mind is dividing and creating good and evil. And that's a very serious business. When the mind divides our choices into good decisions and bad decisions, it creates a new setup for us. The setup is, if you do good, your conscience says, I should be rewarded. If you do bad, you must be punished. Who is saying this? Our own mind. So mind is creating a unique law that if you do good, you must be rewarded. If you do bad, evil, you must be punished. And this law is governing our lives and is called the law of karma. People hear the word karma, but they don't realize who is creating it. Our own mind is creating the law of karma. And we have become subject to it. And our life is governed by good and bad, like law of karma. We think the law of karma is coming because we have a human body and we have to go through it. Not true at all. Then where is the karma? Karma is where it was created, in the mind. The mind creates other things also. Mind creates separation. Why should it create separation? Unless there is separation, we cannot love the separated one. It has created the first big separation from God itself, our Creator. We can't love God because we are separate. Or we can love because we are separate. If we were not separate, we couldn't experience love. If we are separate, we can experience love. Mind has been given a good job. Separate. But not only separate us as children of God, separate from God, separate from each other also. So everybody is separate. Everybody is different. We are separate from trees, separate from nature, separate from each other, separate from God. Good job. Mind has done good job. It was required to do that job so we could experience love. Without separation from God, experience would not have been there. Love would have been there. But not experience of love. Now we can experience. We can experience love with anything. Love with nature, love with people, love with God, love with everything. But the separation also created a separation of events. And therefore is called what is called time. You know, time is very important thing to separate. Time separates events. My coming here is one time. My not coming another time. My meeting you one time. My going away another time. Everything that we are experiencing with the mind in this world is based upon time. Time also creates something else. Time creates space. Long time people did not know that time is creating space. Only Einstein became a scientist and said time space are the same thing. This part of a continuum. They both function together. He thought space creates time and is the ordinate of time. But the mystics and saints said, no, time came first. Space was created by time. Events had to create. When you create time for events, space is needed to put the events in. Beautiful system. This creation is so beautiful if you study it. Most beautiful thing, perfect thing, if you study full creation. Study part of it, it's imperfect. But full study of creation will tell you how important it was that time came. You know what the Hindi word for time is? Indian word, Hindi. Kal. And now people hear that Kal is responsible for all our bad things that are happening. Which is true. There would be no good and evil, there would be no bad thing if there was no time. So Kal, time created everything. Kal became a negative entity. Kal is not a soul or something like us. Kal is just time. Some people think Kal is a being. No, beings are all having souls. They have life. Kal has no being. It's time. But time is creating all the problems. And time is also the one through which we can get out if we don't know the future in time. And then we make choice. Why is it so important that human beings have this ability to make choice in time with the mind? Because if you make choice, you can also make a choice to get out of this mess, to become a seeker. Seeking is the secret of discovering God. If you cannot seek, you can never discover God. You can't seek anything. You can't find anything without seeking. The ability to seek only comes if we are ignorant of what we are seeking, what is the future. If we already know, then we can't seek. So, we are the hidden part of our own Creator and of the creation. And that is called the future. Sometimes people think future is still to come. We all think like that. Not true. Future is already there. We are just going to the future. You can study all this, but it will require more meditation. If you want to know all these things that I am talking, you have to meditate. Because these things are happening in a mind that is inside you, not outside. Unless you go inside yourself and see how the mind works, the rest is theory. It's all theoretical. It's all words, language. But experience. If you want to know what it is, you have to go inside your soul self, where the mind is, where thinking is going on. That's where you have to go. When you will go there, you will find time, space were created and events were placed on them. And our attention, which is part of the mind, our attention is moving from one event to another and creating the feeling and experience as if time is moving. Time is not moving. Time is all one aspect. You can go and see. Time is all one time created. All the events are already there. Predetermined completely. Based on what? A principle that if it is a good thing you are doing, you have to be rewarded. The bad thing you are doing, you have to be punished. So events are arranged in that order. One event, its effect. It's like cause and effect. Cause and effect. Everything is cause and effect. That's karma, law of karma. Time and events create the law of karma, and our mind creates good and bad, and life is like that. It is all set up very nicely. It is set up by the mind in a very beautiful form. I have no real word to describe how life and destiny is set up. It's a very nice thing in the mind. I can give a simile, an example. Example is how a DVD is created. You create a DVD of a play, of a life. It is one piece. One time. DVD in your hand has no time. Then you play it. Then time is created. Then the events come in the DVD and you watch them. Supposing instead of watching the DVD, it is your life and you are playing the DVD, and that is called life. That you can then understand that it was all pre-recorded with all those events on it, and as we play, moments pass, days pass, and we live our life. That is how it's created. Anybody can check it. Any one of you can check it out. Method is simple. Go within yourself through meditation, become unaware of the body, and dive in. You will find sense perceptions work on their own. You will find sense perceptions have been working for a long time. They were the same sense perceptions, same power of seeing, same power of touching and smelling and having these all experiences before you were born in this body. You were having them. You were having them in another body also. Maybe another form of life. And you have had for a long time, series. You had a long life. We sometimes call that inner body, which has the sense perceptions, but no matter. No physical matter at all. Therefore, it's invisible to us, and we are visible to that sense perception. That means if a person dies today, that person leaves the body, can still see us. We can't see the body. We only see matter with these eyes. So long as we are in a physical body, only physical things can be seen by us, experienced by us. Physical world is only reality. You can't have any other reality. It looks imaginary. But when we leave this body, then the disembodied spirit, the sense perceptions, can see everything that is either in material body or non-material body. That's a big, much bigger world. How do you know it? Go within, dive while living, and you see. You don't have to wait to listen to anybody. It's absolutely personal experience. Anybody can have, if you are interested. If you are not interested, don't bother about it. Only if you are interested. I have a suspicion that many of you sitting here are interested. That's why you're sitting here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here if you don't want to find the truth. What is the reality? But if you are interested, you can find out. Through simple process of meditating within yourself. and losing the experience of the physical body and still having an experience of yourself. Where is the self? Right now, where do you feel you are if you are not body? If you begin to know, I am not body and I want to leave the body without actually dying, just temporarily. I want to leave the body for half an hour and find out, who am I? Where am I? Am I sitting outside somewhere on the trees or that other place? No. All of you will answer, I am living inside this body, which is the truth. Inside the physical body, where are you living? Are you living in your hands and feet or toes? Where are you living? If you are just life, not body, but life. Where are you living in this physical body? When this thought comes, this question comes, where am I living? Where is the question coming from? Is it coming from the ears? Is it coming from the heart? Is it coming from somewhere else? Answer will come automatically. It is coming from your head. Thoughts are all taking place in the head, in the brain. It doesn't take long to know that our thoughts, our feelings, our experiences, what we are having, when we are awake, they are all coming from the head. Any particular part of the head, or all over. If you study more carefully, they are coming from the center of the head. Complete center. Behind these eyes. Between the ears. Exactly the center is where the thoughts are coming from. Now, if supposing you want to become unaware of the body, for the purpose of discovering your inner body, simple method, I'm telling you, anyone can do. Put your attention on that point behind the eyes. And forget everything else. You will awake to a life that is not this body. Anybody can do. Very easy. It takes time. Easy, but still takes time because we are not used to it. Something new. We are used to living with physical body, having all experiences outside, no experience inside. So it looks like new, looks like strange. But when you will have the experience, it won't look like new. It will look like old. Because you were there before you were born. If you do it once, you will know you were there before you were born. But you have to pull the attention completely. If you pull the attention completely with deep meditation, long meditation, you can get that result. This point in the physical body has been called third eye. Tisra pit, third eye. Why? Because it is between and behind this eye. And that's where consciousness or life, soul, inner body, mind, everybody is sitting together. It's more than that, but we think our mind and thinking and soul is sitting. We don't think God is sitting there also. God is also sitting there. Because the separation of God from us is only in awareness, not real. They're not really gone away somewhere. When they say God is within you, God is love, He's sitting inside. When we are awake in a physical body, the entire structure of God, creation, ourselves, soul, mind, inner body, senses is sitting right in one place. What a wonderful thing. Can you imagine what a great knowledge this is? What a great gift it is? That you can discover everything you want. In this world, another world, our true world, our true home, and God Himself, the Creator, all sitting inside in one spot. Whoever has found any experience which is spiritually correct and true has found it there, nowhere outside. We run outside. Running outside to church, to temples, mosques, synagogues, thinking God may be hiding in there. God is hiding in the ear. And He can be found inside. This is the real church. This is the real temple, real synagogue, real mosque. if you want to find the Creator. He's sitting inside all the time. If he were not sitting there, you wouldn't be alive. He is life. The creative power is life. And making us conscious, that is making us aware of what is happening. I sometimes don't know, some people call him God, some call him Allah, some call him Ishwar, Parmeshwar, different names. So I coined a new terminology just for satisfying everybody, called totality of consciousness. It's just a coined phrase. I coined it because nobody can criticize me. And they can understand that if you go to totality of consciousness, you will find that all individual experiences of consciousness all arise from there. The total is there. You can find the total also. When we draw our attention and keep it at the third eye center inside and put attention there, what happens? You can all try if we close our eyes and say we are inside. Even imagine, because imagination draws attention. If I'm imagining I'm on the top of this house, my attention will go there. If I imagine I'm still in London, my attention will go there. If I imagine I'm inside the head, my attention will go there. If I imagine I'm sitting in the center of this head, behind these eyes, what happens? I can see things which I remember. I can close my eyes completely tight. Complete darkness. Sit in a dark room and I close my eyes, I can still see my friends, I can see people. How can you see in the darkness? Because there is no inner darkness. It's just created by us by thinking this is light, I close my eyes, it's dark. There is much more light inside than ever existed outside, and you can see it. In my meditation exercises, I sometimes tell people, close your eyes and imagine there's a light bulb and you have a button there. If you take the button up, it goes up and down. And they have taken the button up and taken the light, so much light they created, it has never existed outside, just by imagination. And if you do it without imagination, just by withdrawing attention, it's even more light. We are filled with light inside. That is why we can see inside. We can see much more inside than we can see outside. This is dark compared to that. So much light is inside. When we withdraw attention, it lights up. And we open up a new world altogether, in which the very self which we think is the body now becomes our imaginary self, which we imagine we are inside. And can you know that the imaginary body has no weight? You can fly. And we start flying. I have meditation exercises done with my friends, and we fly. Not only fly in this sky, we can fly in many skies. We can fly so fast inside, which will never fly. No aeroplane can fly like that in the physical world. We can fly so fast with our inner body. Inner body has a longer life, longer memory, and has been captured by this physical body temporarily. How wonderful that we can see that inner body, which has been captured. Some people call it soul. They say that a soul has come into this body. Soul has not come, inner body has come. And inner body, what is inner body? Sense perceptions without matter. You have the same sense perceptions, no body. We call it Suksham Shri, astral body. Astral body, sensory body. It's a body like this. And we have made it like this. So to resemble, and it's sitting inside this body. When we are seeing with these eyes, if we are sleeping, we don't see. Why? When we are sleeping and we open our eyes, somebody opens our eyes, we can't see. Why? Because the inner body's eyes are not here. They are somewhere else. And I'll tell you where they are. If they are here, it's only in wakeful state. Therefore, the inner eyes are open, and we open these eyes, we can see. We think we are seeing with these eyes. We are seeing with inner eyes. It's a very interesting subject. And I can talk to you for hours only on how perception works, how the system works in the physical body. And people, doctors, I discuss with doctors also, ophthalmologists, eye doctors. I discuss with them. I say, how do we see? Tell me with the physical body. They say, when you see something, light falls upon that object to see. If it is totally dark, I won't see any one of you. I won't even see what's outside. Light must fall on something for the physical body to see. What happens? When light falls on some object, that object absorbs that light, but only part of it. There are 7 colors of a rainbow. You know the 7 colors. Violet, I remember, you know how I remember? I learned it in school. They taught me one word. It's called Vibgyor. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange. And by remembering one word, I still remember the 7 colors. And why are they important? Because the colors of the rainbow, which are all of them, they are absorbed by our system. Seeing means absorption of colors. It does not mean that the colors are coming out. You see my red jacket, you know how it has become red? Because this jacket absorbed all other colors except red. Red is being reflected. Light contained all colors that fell on my jacket. Red could not be absorbed, so I saw it. That was the color being seen by us. We are not seeing colors that exist. All colors are white. But when they are absorbed by our physical things, only what is not absorbed is reflected and we see that color. I'm talking of eye doctors explaining, scientists are explaining this. The rays of light fall upon our objects. Those which cannot be absorbed are reflected back, we see them and they go into our eye. In the eye, there is a cornea. Then, in the cornea, there is another thing where the pupil is situated. And then within that there is a lens. And there is a little watery stuff called aqueous humor outside and vitreous humor inside, behind the lens. These all perform an act of focusing the picture. Whatever is outside, light is bringing it, it focuses the picture and it falls at the back of the eye, which is called the retina. Retina are the end of the optic nerve. The optic nerve goes from the head. And when this image is brought by the lens and the 2 humors, aqueous and vitreous, they all act like a lens. A picture falls which is upside down of what is outside. You see a man standing, picture is upside down. You can see the picture. It's actually falling through the lens. And that picture is picked up by the retina. The retina consists of 2 types of things, rods and cones. One picks up the color, the other picks up the shape and sends a signal. The signal goes to the optic nerve to the brain, and there is an area in the brain where the optic nerve ends. And when the image goes there, if you are conscious, you see the image. If you are not conscious, like sleeping, then you don't see. So here are the steps. Light, reflection, absorption of colors, image coming in, upside down, retina being affected, and ultimately, if you are conscious, see. Very good. Supposing our eyes are built, and we don't know. Supposing our eyes and retina are built to create images, and they are not really coming from outside at all, and the images are created by the retina, we'll see things exactly as we are seeing things because the rest of the process is the same. Supposing retina is doing nothing, it is the optic nerve that's creating the images. You still see things as they are. Supposing optic nerve do nothing, it's the brain function that creates the images, then the same image will come on the retina, same thing you will see outside. Supposing brain is doing nothing, we have to be conscious to see. Consciousness is doing it. The same thing will happen again and we'll see it exactly. Which is true. Are we seeing things because they are happening inside and we are projecting and seeing outside? Or are they outside and we are seeing them inside? No scientist can answer. But they try to give an answer in a different way. They say, and this is a question asked by philosophers for the last 1,000 years. The books are about this. Are we seeing a tree because the tree is there? Or tree is there because we are seeing it? It's an old question. I am not inventing it now. It's an old, very old question. And they say whatever comes first must be the cause. What comes later must be the effect. A tree must come in front of you to see it. Therefore, tree is the cause and your seeing is the effect. But who brings the tree in front is also part of the same vision. You can't say somebody brought a tree, therefore we are seeing it. That person who brought it is also part of the vision that you are seeing. Therefore, you cannot say that you could separate one part of the vision and say that is the cause and that's not. The whole thing is an effect. Or is it a cause? If the cause takes place first, tree comes first, and I see later on, tree is real. If I see first and then tree comes, then my seeing is real, tree is not. Now the actual fact is they are both simultaneous. Not even 1 nanosecond gap between the two. Seeing and the tree are at the same time. So you can never know which is the cause and which is the effect. And that's why the argument has been going on for 1,000 years, maybe 2,000 years. The argument has been going on whether seeing creates things or things create seeing. But they are just arguing. Because they don't go to see inside, how are you seeing? If you meditate and go within, you can find the answer. If you go within and go not where the inner eyes are because they are still seeing, to go where the eyes were created inside. That means one higher level of experience. Not the first level. First level can show you can see without the body. You can hear without the body. Second level, how these senses are being created. And what part of us is creating it? That part has been called sometimes the causal self. All cause is there. Everything has been created from there, including all sense perceptions. The causal self is the level from which you can get an answer how the world is created. You'll be shocked if you go there. It's so shocking. This is very shocking. You'll be shocked that the whole world is being created through perceptions created in the causal self inside us. Very difficult to believe. Very difficult to believe that our entire experience in the universe, which looks so real, absolutely real, should be coming from something inside us. That's the truth. You can check it out. I have to meditate a lot. You can. You go to the causal level where you become unaware of your astral self, you become unaware of your sense perceptions, and you can see how they are being created. And then you find a very interesting thing. If you go only to your astral body, do you still have a memory? Or is the memory with the physical body? Memory has nothing to do with the physical body. Memory is in the mind. Mind is holding memory, not body. When you go to this physical body, you can remember what happened to the physical body. Not everything. Most of the things you forget. You don't remember what happened when you were born and what happened in childhood. I can't even remember what breakfast I had this morning. Memory is very poor. But whatever memory I have in the physical body is of physical things. I can't remember what happened before I was born. But if you are in that body which was there before you were born, you can even remember what happened before you were born. And when people have that experience, they can remember, I remember 300 years ago. You weren't even here 300 years ago. You were. But but not in this body. Some people say, we go to some experts and have past life regressions. Past life regression is nothing but to take the memory back to before you were born. And it's all stored inside. It's stored inside your mind and can be experienced with your inner body. Then you will know you were born in this body only recently, but you were born in the inner body much earlier. If you try to know how long were you born, there's an average life. This worldly life, average is considered to be 100 in good times. Sometimes you die 50, 60, 80. Some people live 100. Some live 120. And nobody yet has lived beyond 135. Some doctors have come to the conclusion you cannot live beyond 135. Some say no, you can live to 200, 300 years. We don't know which is true. But we do know that when we go inside and see our life, it is more than 1,000 years of physical time. Average life, 1,000 to 3,000 years of physical time. That's how long we have held the same sense perceptions. Same power of seeing, same power of touching, smelling, which you are thinking is coming with the body, was there before, and you can experience it in meditation. But what if when you go to the causal plane, you discover the causal plane is nothing but your mind. The thinking mind is the causal plane. The thoughts are creating a lot of stuff. That's another big experience. That thoughts can create everything. But you have to go and see. Thoughts are also like a body. Mind is also like a body. Causal body is nothing but the mind. Has its own life. How long is the life compared to physical life? Mind's average life, 3 to 5 million physical years. We carrying the same mind over and over again. If we did not, we could not carry karma with us from lifetime to lifetime. Karma is carried on the same mind. And we live 3 million to 5 million years, same mind. But it is not immortal. It's born and dies like the physical body. But we are not mind, it's a body. Who are we? We are life that makes the mind alive. We are life that makes the senses alive, makes the body alive, physical body alive, makes the dream body alive, makes everything alive. That's our soul. Soul is the real cause of life and is never born, never dies. It's immortal, completely immortal. It is using these vehicles, these costumes of different bodies that creates time and life. Imagine whatever I am sharing with you are the teachings of this great master. And they are all realizable by us in our own lifetime while we are still in a physical body. What a wonderful gift. What do we need to get all this done? First we need the teachings. Teachings are verbal. I'm talking to you, I'm giving you the teachings of this master that I learned from him and I'm practicing, and I want you to see if you're interested, you can practice. Second part, that you should be able to meditate according to the teaching, which means withdraw your attention there. Simple methods. When we close our eyes and want to withdraw our attention, attention is not here. There is attention, we think of all the things of this physical world. Oh, I forgot my keys, I forgot my milk is boiling on the stove. Is that meditation? Are we meditating on third eye center or on the milk on the stove? Or on the person we have forgotten? Or some job we have to do which we are not doing? We are constantly thinking of other things. It takes time to draw the attention and focus it entirely on your own self, which is inside. So that is why it's a very simple, meditation is very simple, but practice becomes difficult because we have scattered our minds, scattered our attention to so many things. As we grow older and older, we scatter even more. So to bring the scattered mind back takes time. And that is why it takes time to get these experiences. And depends how serious you are, how quickly you can get. There's no fixed time. Somebody can get it in one day. Somebody can take 5 lifetimes. Depending on how scattered the mind is. and how much attached we are. The scattering of the mind is taking place in two ways. An experience is generated outside and we desire something. When we desire, we like more of it, we get attached. Desire and attachment are the real reasons for spread of our attention all over. Now we can't stop desiring. We can't stop attachment. Therefore we are always attached. And how will we go in? Some people say simple, practice detachment. You know, nobody can practice detachment. I'll tell you, I came to the United States and I found lovely food called pizza. And there was a shop that was called Shakey's Pizza, Shakey's Old Pizza. I loved it, I got attached to it. I said, very bad, I am supposed to be detached. And what am I going to do? I should be detached from that pizza. So I meditated and said, no more pizza, no more Shakey's Pizza. The more I said, the more it came in front of me. I said, what is it? I am trying to detach from something, and the more I try, the more it comes. The process of detachment itself is attaching me more. I discovered nobody can detach anything by detachment. Nobody has ever even done it. I was so surprised that detachment cannot be practiced at all. And yet people talk, you have to detach to be spiritual. And something that cannot be done, how can you practice it? I was very disappointed. But I found out a way, which my master hinted, but I had missed at that time, but I discovered. You can only detach yourself from something if you attach yourself to something else. When Pizza Hut came, I forgot about it. But that's the whole process. The process of detachment is to be attached. Now, if we are just shifting from one pizza to another, it's no good. They're still outside. Real detachment comes when you can attach yourself something inside. Now, this is a very important point of the spiritual path I want to explain to you. There is no way you can attach yourself to anything inside, unless there is something worth attaching to. And you have seen nothing except darkness. You close your eyes, it's dark. So what do you need to attach yourself? You need something that pulls you from these things. And that is very difficult to find. But if you are a seeker, if you are a genuine, strong seeker, and you are seeking the truth, an experience will happen in your life which will help in detachment. And that experience is called the appearance of a guru in your life. We don't need a guru, the whole practice is inside. Why is a guru needed? Why does a guru appear in our life? We don't find a guru. When we find a guru, he talks and tells us things that we are on pilgrimage to rivers and mountains, and we are doing those things. They are not taking us inside. What kind of guru appears when we are seeking inside, not outside? When we are seeking inside, a guru appears in our physical life who is actually inside us. This is beautiful. A guru appears. What is a guru? A master, a person, a human being who appears in our life as a friend, as an associate, as something. He comes in our life and strange experience he gives us as if he knows us, even when we meet first time. As if there is some connection and we can't explain what the connection is. And what does he do? He becomes a friend and he causes some experiences in our life, small, coincidental experiences. We say, is he responsible? These are not happening before. And we fall in love with him. When we fall in love with the Guru, he seems to occupy our third eye center. And are we loving the man outside or the woman outside, or are we loving somebody inside? Confusion starts. Because he is pulling us in a way we can't see why he's pulling us. Mind says, don't be led by this. Mind creates a lot of doubts. No. A ordinary human being has come, and what are you thinking about? Full still start goes on. And we don't know why. Why are we being affected? I remember great master, ordinary man, beautiful white beard, but nice looking man. And a man used to come to him and say, I don't believe anything you say. I don't like you. You're teaching people this thing. He said, no, you have your own opinion. I got something from my master, Baba Jamal Singh, and he gave me something. I feel very happy. If you don't like what I say, it's okay. You like what you like. Next week, the man would come again. I don't like you. But I don't know why I come to you. Then he comes third time. There is some pull going on, although the mind is saying, don't like the person, hate the person, you're still being pulled. How can a human being do that to us? How can a human being affect us that the mind is not even believing something and something is pulling us? This happens because the human being we are talking about now is not an ordinary human being. He looks ordinary. He's just like us otherwise, but his awareness is not confined to physical awareness like ours is. His awareness at all times, even when he is an ordinary human being in our presence, his awareness at all levels that we are trying to reach through meditation. He has already attained those states, and not only attained those states in the sense he had experiences. He is having all those experiences at the very time where we are talking to that person. Very rare to have such a person. Very rare. Such a person is very rare. How does he come into our life? We can't find him. Because he is completely like us, ordinary like us. If he was different, we could say he is a guru, he is performing miracles, he is flying in the sky. He doesn't do any of those things. Supposing a guru was one who could fly with a physical body, you would be very impressed. While we are sitting here, let us imagine a guru, a master is flying in. I have to stop talking to look at it. You all to look at it. Flying? How is he flying? Did James arrange some rope trick or something? Did he put some actual ropes up there? I can't see any ropes. What will happen to us? We either be surprised, astonished, he is a real worship. We can do any of these things, not love that person. Love the Lord. If he falls down by chance, then he will run. Please, can we help you? You can have some love. Do you realize that love is an experience in the physical world that comes with a physical person like us, not with the one who is flying? We can have worship, we can do anything else, but not love. Therefore, such a person whose awareness is at all levels and comes into our life to make us have the awareness which we are seeking, he will come exactly like ourselves. If we are a young person, he will appear to us as if he is young no matter what his age. If he is an old person, and we are an old person, he will appear like an old person. There will be a certain modification in the behavior of that being because he has not come just to be a friend of ours. He has come to guide us where the pull is coming from, where seeking is coming from. He is not actually outside, as I explained earlier. We are creating everything, we are creating our own master outside. The real master is always inside. But we don't see inside. Therefore he appears also. When we say appear, why do we say appear? Why don't we say you can find him? Because you can't find him. If he has to be a friend whom you can love, like a friend, a true friend, He has to be in the same form as you. High and low will not work. That's why he appears in the same form like we are. But the pull is coming from that very point. And that's very mixed up pull. It's coming inside and outside. We don't know how to explain it. Mind can't understand it, mind is doubting it. But the pull is so strong, it overrides the mind. And love becomes a strong pull. What's the advantage of this experience? The advantage is when the love comes from inside, you will think of that being who's a person outside. And think of it inside. You are attached to that inside, and detachment takes place outside. Main road. Otherwise, you don't need one. If it was merely a question of meditating and going within, we don't need a master. But since we are attached so much outside, and attachment can go away by another attachment, and attachment not with something outside but inside, such a person appears to be that attached inside. And then he appears inside, which makes it very easy to understand he was inside. And we can manifest him, see him, talk to him, and fly with him, and do everything else with him inside. That is the role of a human being that becomes a perfect living master in our life. Why is he perfect? Because his awareness, even when he is with us as a human being, is beyond the mind. Everything beyond the mind is perfect. Everything below the mind is imperfect. Can you imagine all imperfections, if you study, are created by the mind? Above the mind there is no imperfection. It's all perfect. Such a person comes when our seeking is strong enough, and he appears and creates a detachment, and we can move forward. It's a wonderful system. Secret of all that I am talking is seeking inside. Don't have to shout outside, don't have to seek anywhere else. Seek inside for the truth, not for worldly things. If you seek inside, I wish I win the lottery. A friend of mine once asked me, in the astral plane, can you see the future? I said, yes. I'm going to meditate very hard. I said, why? Tomorrow lottery is coming, I want to see the number. If I can see the numbers today, I'll win the lottery tomorrow. So he meditated very hard because the desire to get the lottery was so strong, he was willing to spend real meditation, and he was able to see the lottery number that was to be drawn next day. He was so happy. He saw the 6 numbers. And he came back to the physical body. They faded away very quickly. So what's happening to my memory? I can't remember them. He could remember 1 or 2 of them. Next, the lottery came. When the lottery numbers came, he remembered they were the same numbers. But he could not remember before buying the lottery. There is a phase, it is called a phase of fading out. Do you know when we sleep and have a dream, we can't remember the dreams. When we wake up, dream is there, then it fades out. You know how long it takes to fade out? According to studies made by these sleep people, not more than 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, only one traumatic dream or something very special remains in memory, the rest is faded. Similarly, experiences of higher level of awareness, when you go back to this, fade out like that. Sometimes we even say that might have been a bigger dream. How do we know? Are we dreaming these higher realities or they really exist? There was a Chinese philosopher, Fa Hin. Fa Hin had a dream that he was a butterfly. And he felt like a butterfly. He flapped his wings and saw a garden of flowers. Those were so unique flowers. Lights and colors were coming out of those flowers. He had never seen them in his life. He said, maybe this is real. It's a reality. And then, when he woke up, this looks real. And he wondered, am I really a butterfly? Now having a dream, I am Fa Hin. Or am I Fa Hin who had a dream which is so real, more real than this? If flowers were so real, much more real than flowers I see here. Who am I? And he asked his friends. He said, I had a strange dream that I was a butterfly and I was seeing those beautiful flowers, and they looked far more real than any flower I see here. Am I a butterfly or am I Fahim? They said, don't be stupid. You are Fahim. You just had a dream. You didn't become a butterfly, you saw a butterfly. He said, I never saw a butterfly. I didn't see any butterfly. I was a butterfly. I was flying. I never saw myself. And he realized, we see with eyes. Whether with these eyes, physical eyes, or inner eyes, we can never see our eyes. Nobody has ever seen their own eyes, no matter whether in dream or in wakeful state or higher state. Eyes cannot be seen. You can see reflection in a mirror. You cannot see the eyes. The very system set up for seeing cannot be seen by us. And therefore he said, I never saw a butterfly. I saw through the butterfly's eyes. I was a butterfly. What does it mean? The discovery he made was that the self, which is now in a human form, will remain the same self, even if it was form of a butterfly. Self will not change. Form will change. Even if he became formless, the self will still be the same. Self has never changed. The self continues to be the same. That is why Raman Maharishi, one of the great rishis in India, he said, God and Guru, Master, and self are the same. But we don't discover it that way. We worship God, and when we worship enough and can't see, because nobody can see, we can feel. We are feeling our own self when we say see God, and we don't believe it. We are separated. But when a master appears, same God has appeared now, because the consciousness of a master is God consciousness. But we don't take him like that. We say he'll take us to God. When we go there, we find he and God were the same. Then he says, go within yourself. And we find our true self inside. But that's the same as the master, same as God. Therefore, the self is the secret. The experiencer is the secret. The experiencer who is experiencing everything is the secret, is also the God, also the love, also the creator. And self-realization is like God realization. You can only check it out if you find it. We are very lucky people who are seeking at this time the ultimate truth. Because the ultimate truth is lying inside. All we need is a little bit of guidance outside, little more guidance and help inside, and ultimately joyful friendship to go back to our true home with somebody who is already in the true home. Don't forget, all meditation is a mental exercise. The mind is not the truth. All meditation can lead you to the understanding of the mind, understanding of the creation, understanding of various levels. It cannot take you to your true home or to God. Only that can take you beyond the mind to God or your creator or yourself, which is not in the mind. Effort has no place in it. All effort is mind. All meditation is mind. All trying to do service, anything else is all mind. Then what is beyond mind? There must be something beyond mind that pulls us to our true home, love. It's beyond mind. Love comes from the soul, from the spirit. If there is no love, you cannot go beyond the mind. That is why I say, if you want to do real meditation, to go beyond the mind, it must be done with love and devotion. Without love and devotion, it follows. Love and devotion only give you more mental experiences and more mental confusion sometimes. Therefore, meditate with love and devotion. Love and devotion will go beyond meditation and take you beyond the mind. Pull will come from the other side. Why do I use two words? Why don't I just say love? Why am I saying love and devotion? Because love does not come from yourself. Love is an experience that comes from the lover if you are a beloved, or comes from the beloved if you are a lover. But your experience is not that of love. Your experience is of a response to love. Love comes from the beloved. And you respond, and that's called devotion. The response to love is called devotion. That way love and devotion go together. Love comes from inside, from the master, from outside, from a being who gives true love. What is true love? We all love each other. What is this difference? True love, which comes from such a human being, even when he's a human being, and we call him a perfect evil master. His love is unconditional, complete. There is no judgment involved. He doesn't say, be good and I will love you. He loves you whether you're good or bad. He's beyond that. His love will never change if you have experienced it. You will see it all the time, every time. No change in that unconditional love coming from somebody whose awareness comes from above the mind. If it's below the mind, it's judgment. We are all judging each other all the time. Good, bad, this thing is happening, I don't like you, I like this person. All judgment is going on. At least one person comes into our life. The more you experience and contact with that person, more experience, you'll find his love never varies. It's unconditional, good judgment. Good sign. And it can be checked out. If you love that person, he will love you. If you don't love that person, he will love you. If you hate that person, he will love you. If you kill that person, he will love you. That's the kind of love comes from such a person. It's that kind of love that pulls you beyond the mind inside. And fortunately, I can tell you, when we seek such a person, he comes. Automatically. Of course, how does he come? Not by our searching. We search and find intermediate stages of different people who guide us. But at the end, when he comes, seeking is strong inside, he appears by coincidence. We don't even know how he appears. Sometimes he just appears. We never planned. But he appears. At the right time, he appears when we are ready. When we are ready, he appears. When we are ready further, he takes us inside. When we are more ready, he takes us beyond the mind. It is our readiness which comes from our seeking. Therefore, people ask me, I am interested in spiritual truth. What should I do? Simple answer. Seek inside. Seek for ultimate truth. Don't seek for minor things. If you seek minor things, you get minor things. If you want the ultimate, seek what is inside. And you will get it. Somebody will appear in your life. You will have doubt on the unusual person. The unusualness you will find as you associate. The most unusual thing which you will find will be the unconditional love that comes from such a person. It cannot be imitated by anybody. There was a man came to the Dera where Great Master, where I was as a child going there. A man came pretending to be a great Guru come to see Great Master. And he sat on a platform outside and gathered all the people. I am going to Sachkhand, I am going to this place. He was boasting about his experiences. I said, perfect, his master never even says he's a master. My master never said that. And this man is boasting so much. So I was young. I said, let me try a little trick. I had a little safety pin with me. I opened up the safety pin. And while he was giving a big talk, I pinched it. And he got so mad and angry. I said, how can you be angry if you have gone beyond the mind? And he ran after me, but I could run faster at that time. But little simple things. If you are finding that the master is angry, lustful, possessive, greedy, cannot be a master. When you have unconditional love from a certain person, the person is different, but looks ordinary. Born like us, eats like us, falls sick like us, go to doctor like us. Every life is completely like us. Awareness is totally different. And the awareness that really pulls us, and he appears in our life when we are ready for it and we are seeking. So that is what I can share with you. Besides on the prepared talk I shared with you. Thank you very much for your patience listening to me. I'm very happy to see all of you. It's wonderful to see because I can see all of you beautiful seekers. You are not here without seeking. You can't come here. So I'm very happy to meet you, to see fellow travelers. You are all fellow travelers with me, traveling to the same destination. Such a joy to find travelers. And I remember this beautiful visit. Thank you very much, James, to bring me in touch with this beautiful visit.
Master, would you like a short break before we do question and answers?
You want questions?
Yes.
Anybody has any question? Try to answer some questions if you have any. You can ask questions about what I spoke, or you can ask questions about what I did not speak. Unless it's a very private person. Yes.
My question is, when we are with you, when we listen to your discourses, when we are physically here at an event, any event, the meditation, the push, the pull is really nice. But when we go back, it's a personal experience as well. I feel that something is going away from me, and the meditation day by day, month by month, it weakens down, and you again have to, the inner self is just crying to see you again.
I'm very happy you're telling me my experience. When I was young and was trying to meditate a lot, when I was with Great Master, meditation was very good. When I would go away, weaken, ultimately I would forget. What is the answer? Be more with the Great Master. I discovered, in fact, an American disciple who came from the United States to Great Master. He said, Master, how often should we come and see you? He said, the more you see me, the more your meditation will be. Because you will be thinking of nothing else. So you come, your mind gets more concentrated on it. But Master, how often can we see you? What is a good formula? He said, best is see me every day. He said, Master, we live far away. We can't afford to come every day. Somebody is not living here with you. How often should he come and see you? He said, once a week would be all right. By the way, my grandfather was also become a disciple at that time. After that talk of his presence, he came every week. Without fail. My uncle, my grandfather's son, complained to Great Master. You said something so bad to this man, my father, he's spending money to see you every week. Why should he come every week? He ain't coming out of love. Please don't talk like that. But there was a complaint why he's coming every week, because he heard Master say that. And he was coming from a distance of 35, 40 miles from Lahore to the Dera. So not too much. But the American man said, but supposing you're living very far away, then once a month is good. You'll be able to hold on to that feeling for a month. You're living far. Master, what about people like us who are living overseas? Can't even afford to travel this much. Then once a year is good enough. If you come once a year with that kind of feeling, you carry the feeling, it will last for a year. You come again to maintain that momentum. He said, Master, what if people cannot come even once a year? He smiled. So then they can wait for the next life. They are going to come again. That is why what you are saying is a very important point. We really get so immersed in the worldly things around us that we don't have the right priority left to us. If you really want to take advantage of the spiritual path, this should be meditation, spiritual seeking should be priority number one. In the morning, you should think of spirituality. Do your meditation. Think of Master. I said this talk in Delhi. And I said this, think of Master. There is one guru who came, Subkas, I don't know if you remember. He's a German lady.
Yes.
He writes to me every morning, just a salutation. Because he remembered that every morning when he wakes up, he meditates. Just that one sentence affected. So this Secret is that our mind being what it does, sitting in a reality that is physical, we are so much attached to this thing, so much obligated. And our karmas, which is effects of our old actions, which are creating the reaction to it now, those karmas are creating new obligations to pay off our karma. We owe to people, we owe to families, we owe to children, to parents, to everybody, to our office, to workers. All this is being created like a network around us, which is drawing our attention out. So unless we have something that triggers back our to remain on track, which is more frequent meeting with Master.
Every day.
But supposing you cannot.
Every day for me.
Every day is best. Now I'll tell you about the everyday thing. No matter where you are, where the Master is, you can see him every day. Not outside, inside. If you imagine when you are in love with somebody, don't you see that person? Even physically. You fall in love with somebody, it's always there, missing. And you're feeling like that. If you associate with the Master for a while, that kind of feeling comes, you see him inside every day. If you meditate, you can actually see him the same way that you see him outside. And have a conversation better than you can have outside. So this is, we sometimes call the inner form of the Master, the radiant form of the Master. There is a Master whom you can see in darkness. That's why we call radiant. With closed eyes, we can see the Master very clearly. Only when you are able to withdraw your awareness of the body and are initiated, accepted by a perfect living Master who will come into your life, you can see him inside every day. Meditate a little more, see him every day. Any other question? Anybody has a question? Yes.
And when we close our eyes and see, is it our mind's vision or soul's vision?
Repeat.
When we close our eyes and see, could be during meditation, is it our mind's vision or is it our soul's vision?
Neither the soul nor the mind, inner eyes are seeing, which is the astral self, but they are made alive by the soul and the mind. There are several stages. When we close our eyes and see, our inner self is seeing, which is sense perceptions, because we are seeing. Above that there is no seeing as we know it now. It's an experiencing, which is different from physically seeing or astral seeing or imaginary seeing. So when we close our eyes and see, it's the inner self seeing. And as the next step to be able to go beyond. So you have to go to that level before you can go beyond. What is soul? Soul is making the mind alive. Thinking becomes alive because of soul. It makes the self, inner self alive, makes the body alive. When you vacate your attention from here, inner body becomes alive, and that's what sees. When Masters can be seen inside, it's the inner side, vision, which is what we call astral suksham sharis, or inner body, sensory body.
Is it right to say that it's an extension of our mind?
Yes. All the sense perceptions are extensions of the mind, but we don't think so. And we think only when we have imaginary thinking is extension of the mind, we think this one is not. Both are extensions of the mind. All experience is extension of the mind. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
Ishwarji, what do you do if you're in a no man's land? So you've got the desire to go inside, but then when you sit, or you can't make progress or see anything. So what do you do?
I feel that people should not meditate without a guide to guide them. And that is why when we meditate without guidance, we can go into some areas which are not really what we desire. Some of them are like no man's land, like we don't know what to do. Just we are there, we have forgotten where we are, but we don't have anything more. Numbness of our experience. Sometimes we can go to negative territory also, which can be very frightening. We can see some monsters and things like that, or even go to hell, some people. So it's better to be guided by this. And that is why I recommend to people, get the guidance of one who is already there and who you can visualize or see inside. It will help you to stay on something which will be visible, and then you can move forward. But otherwise, pure meditation on your own can lead to experiences in the astral self which are not always very present. But it's good to have guidance from outside and inside. Then you won't have that. Anybody else?
Sorry.
Yes.
But some of the souls that have been helped in the past, that have reached Sachkhand, merged back into Satpurush, have any of them come back for an experience? And if they have, what would be the...
We have all come back from there. Not only you. Our true home is where we belong. And we've come for an experience here. Yes, it's an automatic. We come, all of us have come from there. We all belong there. We are all one there. It's only separated here. So it is true. You were there at one time. But there's a little catch. They say you were there one time. Right? But there was no time there. How can it be one time? Time is a creation of the mind. Beyond that, there is no time. So we can't say we were there one day, we are there now also. We are right now in our true home. Why don't we feel it? Because we have drawn attention to the different levels, covered ourselves to have experiences. It's like going to a stage play and putting on costumes. We're wearing 3 thick costumes. First costume we wore, mind. It created time, space, the whole experience was changed. Second costume, sense perceptions, astral self. Third, cover, body. And we are having a physical experience. We are still there. We haven't gone anywhere. Somebody asked me, why did we leave that place if it was so good? We never left it. We only left the experience of it, the awareness of it. And the journey back is not a journey. It's to recover your awareness, where you really belong. It's just cutting off the awareness of what has been created for us and then getting back to original journey, original awareness. We are there right now. You were not there last time, you are there right now at this moment. But awareness is here. He created time, space, so it becomes like we were there once upon a time. Now we have been here for millions of years. This is all created by the mind. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
I had written a question down before the beginning of your discourse, and my question was, what is God's purpose? Now you seem to have answered that within the first minute of your talk by saying God's purpose is to experience love. And is our purpose also to experience love and to reach that state of awareness where we are at one with God or the super consciousness? Is that our purpose?
That's the only way to reach there. Without love, for which the creation took place, you can't reach beyond the mind. That's why love is the secret. Love and devotion can be experienced right from here, from physical world, and becomes the only way after the mind. That love takes us back to the ultimate. There is a little saying by a Persian mystic in Farsi, in Persian. I'll translate it for you, unless anyone here knows Farsi. Ishq awwal dar dile mashuk paida mishwar. Love is first born in the heart of a beloved. Which means unless it comes from there, you can't experience love. Love is coming from there. And that's why we are being pulled by that love. And that's the secret. That it is love that created the whole experience, and love is pulling us back. And these are means, what we describe here. These are just experiences through which we go through to be pulled back by love to our only oneness, our true self, which we call God or Creator. Love is the secret. Okay? Anybody else? Yes.
Is that when the disciple is ready, the master appears?
It says, when a disciple is ready, the master appears.
Yes. That's what they say. In Hindi they say, जब चेला तैयार हो तो गुरु आ जाता है. He says, only when a disciple is ready, the master appears. Readiness means the seeking has reached that point where we are not thinking this is our true home. By the way, if we think this is our home, this is very nice, we want to live here, Master doesn't appear. Enjoy it. One man came to me once. He said, why are you saying that we should go to our true home? I'm happy here. I've got a very nice house. I've got a lot of money. I've got everything that you talk about good is all here. Why should I live my heaven here? I said, you enjoy your heaven. You do not need to go anywhere. Go and enjoy. Next week he came back. I was very happy. He said, are you enjoying your heaven? I can't tell you how miserable I am. I said, what happened to all the house and money you mentioned last time? But he didn't mention to you how I was deceived by a woman I loved. I can't tell you how that shock is there in my personal life. And money and house does nothing for that. My life is miserable. I'm in depression. In 1 week, he gave up the truth. We do not seek unless we are thinking this is not our place. We are fed up. We are done with this. When that feeling comes, this is not the place for me. And there's a disappointment in this current life, only then the seeking comes. If you are enjoying life, enjoy. Time will come and you will find out. What will make you feel that way? The very system of karma that we're talking of. Punishment and reward, ultimately says this is not our place. Because we have no such duality or pairs of opposites in our true home. Then why did we create pairs of opposites here? By creating a world of pairs of opposites, we made our true home with no opposites as an opposite of that. A great piece. It's a masterpiece. This creation is the greatest masterpiece I have seen. From all angles, if you see, the total creation is perfect. Once, my master said, in very loving tones one day, I was very young. He said, do you like what has been created? I said, not everything. He said, all right, if I gave you a glimpse of the whole thing, then tell me where to improve. Then I'll tell God to improve that section. If something is really bad, we should improve it. One glimpse of how the whole system works, you could not improve anything. I could offer no suggestion. If you can, then God will change it. It is only imperfect because the imperfection has been created through pairs of opposite duality that exist up to the mind. Beyond that, there is nothing like this. It says and the ability, imagine the ability to find our truth exists in the human body. Isn't that the greatest miracle? I've never heard of a greater miracle than that you can access even God if you are a human being. The greatest gift is a human being. We have this body and the ability to make choices, to seek. Seeking is the secret. And that's it, existing in us. Okay? Thank you very much for I'm very happy to see all of you. Wonderful souls. Wonderful souls. All ready to go home. Thank you.
Before you go, we'd like you to bless some prashad for
Very colorful.
eat it inside.
Okay. This is prashad. You know what is prashad?
Tell us.
Give it a
Prashad means blessed food. I used to get prashad from great masters. I used to feel very happy. Because although prashad was like very, very similar to this one, I used to take one piece only at a time. I remembered master every day when I took it. That's the purpose of prashad. Not just to eat, but to use it sparingly to last what you were talking about. Prashad is one means that you take a little bit and you can remember the master. So we used to take it a long period. If we couldn't go to the master quickly enough, he told us a secret. Buy the same stuff from the market before this finishes and mix it up. Shake it so you won't know which is the prashad, which is not all will become prashad. It should last longer. Purpose is not to change the food, but purpose is to make you remember the Master. To remember for the reason Nipun, my friend, just mentioned, and we can remember every day. Also, the molecular structure of this does not change by blessings. Some people think it does. I'm clarifying. I remember somebody said, my daughter has a fever, I gave her some prashad. No, no, give Tylenol or something. Give proper medication. This is not a medicine. Yes, this is true. That when you give prashad, the thought goes to Master, then things become lighter, even karma becomes lighter. But that's not because of the thing, it's because of the thought in the mind. And that is why to think of Master when you take it is the main purpose of the blessings. I am going to now, in front of you, seek my Master's blessings, great Master's blessings. And you can't see him, I can. He will bless this, which will make me very happy. And then we're going to give it to you. Whoever wants this blessed prasad by great Master, I'll be very happy to give it to you.